Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal and Ron Placone.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
So the horrible Trump care is past the House. It's in the Senate. And I haven't covered it yet because, well, let's see what happens. Because two things could happen here. I predicted a long time ago that when Trump tries to do something horrible, this is before the election, I said, well, all the Democrats and independents will band together and they'll peel off purple state Republicans to fight against his horrible policies, which is kind of exactly what's happening right now with this Trump care, right? What the Democrats have to do, if they do pass some kind of horrible health care bill, is do something that the Democrats have never done, which is make the Republicans pay a political price for the horrible stuff they're doing. Just like Barack Obama did not make the Republicans pay a price for blocking Merrick Garland, his Supreme Court pick for a year. They just did it, which is unbelievably, unconstitutionally egregious. And Barack Obama did not make them pay a political price for that. And that's his failing. That's the Democrats' failing. And that's not me talking. That's super academic New York Times bestselling author Thomas Frank says that Barack Obama made them pay no price for that. And that's his failing. And there's lots of reasons why he didn't make them pay a price for that. One of them was because they were planning on using it to get you to vote for Hillary in November. And they thought if Merrick Garland was seated, they would lose that argument. They would lose that wedge. So the Democrats need to then, and then the Democrats take over the government in 2018, the House and Senate. That's how this is supposed to work. Because the Republicans reveal themselves to be horrible, and then the Democrats are supposed to be better, and then they make them pay a political price, and they take back over government, which is a much, much better result than if Hillary Clinton was president, and we would just have a right-wing government forever, because she's a right-winger. So they have to make them pay a political price for this. Let's see if the Democrats do. I don't think they're gonna. Here's a Republican. Former Representative David Jolly from Florida. Now, he had a big statement to make, and he said this on the Lawrence O'Donnell show, and he talks about health care. Now, this goes exactly to our point. We've always said, for whatever reason, Republicans are unable to understand a problem until it affects them personally. So here's a guy. This guy here, his name is David Jolly. And when he ran for Congress, he ran against Obamacare, and he got elected. And then he lost his seat, and he was out of job and unemployed. And he didn't have health care. So let's listen now.
People tonight that most people probably don't know. Here's the other patient that David Jolly is. On January 4th, I was a former member of Congress, unemployed with no health insurance and a pre-existing condition. And while I ultimately chose a private sector plan, I also knew in 2017 Obamacare provided an exchange that was a safety net that wasn't there before. And to be honest with you, if I had had to rely on it, I knew it was there. And that's why the politics of Obamacare in 2017 are different than 2013. I lost my doctor and I lost my plan in 2013, and I was angry about Obamacare, and I ran for Congress. But in 2017, as an unemployed person with a pre-existing condition, I knew Obamacare was there as a safety net if my wife and I needed it.
So there you go.
Now, that is sending an odd message if you would want to enter the political arena. I base all of my policy ideas on how it affects me personally. Throughout my life.
And how? Not only that, Ron, but I base all my political decision on how something's affecting me at this moment.
Right.
Right, because he says that 2013, it's a very different culture right now in 2013. It's 2013. And then 2017, really?
It's different because you didn't have fucking health insurance this time. Because you were unemployed. Because you had to go get your own... But that's why it's different this time. Because you're not a member of Congress this time. That's why it's different. So now it personally affects you, Ron.
So if you wanted that guy to support the fight for 15 and he was representing you, you would need to hope that somehow he lost his job and then got hired for minimum wage. And it was like, oh, yeah, this is a good idea. Vote for me again. And I'll remember this shit, I promise.
Right. And when he is voting against marijuana, if he is somehow, has to have chemo done,
right,
that suddenly he'll be for medical marijuana. So
see, I was just thinking, send him some damn good edibles and hope for the best. He'll be like, this is really fun. I'm on board.
My brother ran for some kind of council in his suburb of Chicago. It was like a school board or something.
I think it was a school board.
So he ran for a school board. I wasn't there. My other brother told me about it. And my brother, who I'm pretty effing sure is a super duper Republican, they asked him about, that was when people were talking about zero tolerance on drugs. And they asked my brother, how do you feel about zero tolerance? Meaning if someone gets caught with drugs in your school, you get expelled. Which that helps that kid, right? Now that'll, what? Where's that kid supposed to go? So every kid who does drugs is just, now you just throw him in the sewer? So anyway, I asked that question to my brother, and my brother just didn't agree with it. And he's like, no, I don't think that's right. They're kids. We should give them a second. And I was like, what? My brother said that? It's because his kid smoked pot and he knew it. That's why my Republican brother was able to have a reasonable position on zero tolerance for drugs in high school, because his kid was smoking pot and he knew it, and he knew if his kid got caught, he's going to get thrown out.
Well, it's just like when we did that report on that neighborhood, that everybody was super, super Trump. And then when the guy in the neighborhood that everybody loved that wasn't documented, that was undocumented, was going to have to leave, all of a sudden they're like, oh, shit, this isn't okay.
Don't take the guy who runs our Mexican restaurant. We love our Mexican restaurant. We have our fundraisers there. We love Mexican food. You're going to take that guy away from us, and now we won't have a cool Mexican restaurant in our town? That's the story you're talking about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a Republican figuring out how healthcare works because it affected him personally. And the Democrats, if they pass whatever they pass, and the Democrats aren't able to completely take over the government on this, they're even more inept than even I thought, which is they're pretty inept. Believe me, they lost to Donald Trump. They're wiped out at every level of government. But here's their big chance now. The Democrats moved all the way to the right, so the Republicans are all the way off the frickin' ledger, and now they're going to govern. Wow. So there you go. By the way, 5 senators now aren't going to vote for it. So maybe the JD theory of what should happen, whether that happens or not, is up to those people. We'll see what happens. And if those senators come around and vote for this, they'll be voted out. People hate this bill. 17% approval. That's it. That means most Republicans, all Democrats, all independents are against this bill. Just like what I said about the Democrats when they admitted they didn't have to run a fair primary. Hey, make that your campaign slogan. Try to raise money on that slogan. Hey, we don't have to run a fair election. Try to raise money as an organization saying, we're not going to run a fair. Give us money. We're not going to be fair. 2 worst fundraising months in a row. Same thing. Hey, we're going to take away your health care, make everything shittier for you. Vote for me. People voted out Democrats because of Obamacare, which actually made things better. A little bit better. Imagine what's going to happen now if they pass this Trump care, which makes everything way worse. Twice as bad as it is. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe some of the Democrats will go along with it because they're paid by the same people. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is July 17th. That's right, July 17th. That's a Monday in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right down here or go to jimmydorecomedy.com. July 17th, Burbank, California, live Jimmy Dore show.